Hi, everybody. I wanted to come here today and share with you some of my favorite tools, my materials, primarily my brushes and my linen that I use, okay? Because I think these are the most important things that I think are super important. Anyway, so this is what I buy. This is a linen pad, and it comes like this in sleeves. Okay, it's oil primed linen, and the brand is Centurion. Okay, important thing to note is that it is oil primed. They also make acrylic primed, I believe, but what I love is oil primed linen. This is another surface. Again, these are also pads, but this is canvas, not linen, acrylic primed. Okay. Between these two, this is what I absolutely love. If I have to buy panels, again, I buy the Centurion ones. They are definitely more affordable and good quality, archival also. And again, it's oil primed linen panels. Okay. If I want to splurge, I buy these. They're called Raymar. That's the name of the brand. And my favorite is this one. They have lots of products and different kinds of panels under their brand. This is the one that I like. It's called C15 DP, means Classens 15 double primed. Okay, this is also oil primed, by the way. I typically tend to buy these if I'm painting larger, like if it's a 30 by 30, I end up typically buying these. Okay. Main reason I love painting on oil primed linen compared to, acrylic primed canvas is that oil primed linen tends to be less absorbent. So it allows me for better paint manipulation, okay, compared to acrylic primed canvas. Because at the end of the day, the surface I choose to paint on affects the way my paintings end up looking. I care a lot about brushwork. So choosing painting on that oil primed linen is important for me. Brushes. I want to talk about brushes. Brushes are super important. So I love these. These are called Egberts, and they're made by Signet. Okay, and they're called Egberts. You can buy them off of Dick Blick, probably even Amazon. What I love about them is the length of the bristle. Okay, it's a natural bristle brush. It's not synthetic, so it has when you make a mark, it leaves a mark. Unlike something that is synthetic and super soft, this is great for blending. If you don't want your marks to be seen, go for synthetic. I love my marks to be seen, so I love the natural bristle, and I love the long one. The longer the bristle, the less control I have. Okay, the brush tends to have a mind of its own, and I love that. So I have these in 2, 4, number 6, and number 8. Okay, I think this is the full range in these, but you can see how lovely the length of the bristle is. Now, as I paint, the bristle tends to shorten, and that's when it's time for me to buy another brush, okay? These are synthetics. Oh, bristle. The other bristle brush that I love using is a fan brush. Again, this one is made by Signet, and this is something I bought cheap off of Amazon. I don't know what brand it is, honestly. But again, it's a brush that won't listen to me. It's a brush that has mind of its own, and that's the reason I love it. Okay, fan brushes and synthetics. I don't really use these at all, but I wanted to try, so I bought them. They're called long flats, and they're synthetic. I have number 4, 6, 4, and 2 is what I have. You need the range. If you're going to try a brush, you need like really a small one, a middle, and a large one. So that's how I typically end up buying my brushes. At least 2 sizes you need if you're going to paint with that particular brush. So I'm not very good at taking care of my brushes. I tend to buy the cheapest ones, and I feel like Signets are the most affordable ones on the market. Okay. That's what I have in terms of brushes. In terms of my palette, I will share with you. You guys have already seen I use a glass palette, 12 by 16. And I will also share how I keep my oil paints wet for longer. Okay, so how do I really clean my palette? At the end of a painting session, I just use my palette knife to just scrape off all of the remaining paint. If I have paint that I think I can use in another painting session, I just pile it on the side and I just wipe it clean with a paper towel. One of the ways that I keep these paint piles wet is I use linseed oil. Linseed oil is something that I also use as a medium in my painting, while painting. So I'll use a few drops of that linseed oil and I'll just let me just spread this out first, just like that. And I'll just put like one or two drops, not a whole lot. Some paints dry faster than the others. And some of these paints already have some linseed oil from yesterday. So I don't want to add too much. Too much is not good. Some into that and maybe one over here. But that's what I do. I add just a few drops of linseed oil. You can see some of them have like a little oil, like a little oil circle around it. So I know that that already has a lot of oil. So I'm not going to add more to it. Okay, but once you start working with your paints, you will get an idea of which ones dry more and more faster, dry faster than the others. And then, you can use your judgment and decide accordingly where you want to drop those drops of linseed oil or walnut oil. Okay, now the next thing I do is I like to keep my palette in an airtight container. Again, all of this is to slow down the drying process of these expensive pigments, right? So I can use them for a much longer time. So what I do is I like to keep my palette in an airtight container. And this is a box that I bought off of Amazon. It's made by Masterson. So I'll keep my palette in there. And here's another thing I do is, this is clove oil that again I bought off of Amazon. And it's just pure clove oil. I'll just put just like a little, one or two drops, and I will stick this on my glass palette. Okay, clove oil, I believe, is an antioxidant. So what it does is it slows down the drying process again. But if I do this clove oil trick over here, and even if I'm gone for a couple weeks, when I come back, my paints are still mostly wet. So the clove oil, it really, really helps in slowing down that drying process. So anyway, I hope this helps you. I hope you give it a try and let me know what you think of it. And I will see you in another video. Happy painting!